All right, endocrine system. There's two ways of communication. The nervous system, it uses kind of like electricity. The endocrine system uses a different way of communication. And because it's a different means of communication, because it communicates differently, there's some differences on the messages as well. So the electricity, how would you describe the speed of electricity? Fast, right? Like you generally don't go to a light switch and flip the light switch on like 5 minutes ahead of time so that when you come in the room it's on. Like when you need electricity, you flip the switch, you connect that circuit, and the lights go on. The endocrine system is not so fast. The endocrine system is slower, but the benefit is where electricity, I don't know if you understand it, but like when your brain sends a message to your leg, it is an extremely fast message, but it lasts for just a second. Extremely fast, but lasts for a second. The endocrine system is slower, but the messages stay going for longer. All right, here's another difference. So what's one difference? What about speed? Which one's faster? Nervous system, endocrine is slower. Which one lasts longer? The endocrine system lasts longer. Here's another difference. How do those messages get around? How does the nervous system send its messages through the body? You can just say it. Yeah, your nerves, the actual nerves. The two main organs of the nervous system is your brain and your nerves. The nerves is how the electricity goes through. So if you ever break your back and it actually breaks your spinal cord, if there's a slice in that, then it can cause either extreme pain or you can no longer use the muscles below that because now your brain cannot communicate to your toe or your calf or your thigh or arm, depending on where your that spinal cord breaks. So if there's a break in the nervous system, the communication can't get to the other side. We're working on that, I think, scientifically, but there's not an easy way to connect that bridge from one side of the broken nerve to the other side. Endocrine system. How does the endocrine system communicate? Do y'all know? How does it send its messages? Just a guess. What do you think?
Hormones.
Yes, hormones. That's like the electricity. The electricity is the messenger for the nervous system. Hormones are the messenger for the endocrine system. But how does it send it through the body? There's only two body systems we've talked about that pretty much every cell is close to one of them. One of them was the nervous system, so it can communicate. Well, what's the other one? Your blood vessels. So what body system do the hormones use? The circulatory, the cardiovascular, the circulatory system. So you can see up here it says this system communicates with different parts of your body through chemical messengers called hormones. Have y'all heard of the word hormones? Yes. Maybe you've been accused of being a hormonal teenager, and that was not a compliment. This body system is responsible for things like growth, for puberty, starting that process and continuing that process of puberty. Digestive process is something that simple. We've talked about one of these. The pancreas. You guys remember when we talked about the pancreas? The pancreas is the thing, who remembers, what does a pancreas produce for your digestive system?
It's methane?
No,
I know it's something that helps like with the
blood sugar. It helps with your blood sugar, keeps your blood sugar up or down. What is it? Insulin. It produces insulin. But you also got these other organs. Pituitary gland is a really, really, really important gland. It's kind of like the manager of the endocrine system. Hypothalamus is the gland or the part of your endocrine system that connects the two communication centers. So let's back up. The brain is essentially in charge of your body. It tells your body what to do. It can do that in two different ways. It can send an electrical message, which is very fast and very short-lived, so it doesn't stay around for very long. It doesn't linger. When somebody says, hey, do you just hear it echo over and 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 over? No. But when somebody sends a letter to you, you can read that letter over and over and over again because it's like you can see the words in front of you. Electricity is very fast and very short-lived, whereas the endocrine system is slower, but it's longer lasting. So the brain, to get the endocrine system to do what it needs to do, the brain has to connect to the endocrine system. And the way it does that is through the hypothalamus. So if you want to think of that, there's two communication parts to your body, the nervous system and the endocrine system, they're connected by the hypothalamus. Everybody say hypothalamus. Hypothalamus. And this is pituitary. Say pituitary. Yeah. pituitary gland. It's the pituitary gland. We'll watch a video. This is a really, really small gland, and it is extremely important in your body. If your pituitary gland is off, the whole body can be off. These glands don't get a whole lot of love. You probably have not heard of these, but they are extremely important. They decide whether you live or you die. They decide whether you're able to run really fast when a bear attacks you, or if you're going to die because your blood sugar gets too high or too low. They're the ones that determine whether you are going to stay in the body of or the maturity level as far as your body is concerned of a 12 or 13-year-old, or whether you can become a man or a woman, physically speaking. That's what this endocrine system does. Everybody say hormones. Hormones. Yes, they determine a lot of how you feel. You feel happy, or you feel sad, or you feel depressed, or you feel like a lot of your emotions are determined by hormones. And hormones are these chemical messengers that are generally regulated by what system? Endocrine system. Your endocrine system. All right, so we'll go through these. I'm going to let you take notes. Hypothalamus, like I said, it connects what two body systems? The nervous system and the endocrine system. You can say endocrine. That may be grammatically or phonetically correct. Endocrine is how I've always said it. Endocrine system. This hypothalamus is the bridge between the rest of the brain and the pituitary gland. Again, the pituitary gland is the manager. So the hypothalamus is like, hey, this is what the brain said. And this is very oversimplified. You can become an endocrinologist and come and teach my future students later. But in general, I'm trying to give you a kind of a general understanding. The pituitary gland tells the other glands what to do. If something is wrong with the pituitary gland, the rest of the body's glands are going to be messed up. Imagine having a boss that's really incompetent, having a boss that really messes up everything and tells you the wrong stuff. Are you going to get very much work done? No, unless you work at Dunder Mifflin, that is not going to be the case. It is from the office. If my office hands get it. But yeah, so the hypothalamus tells the pituitary, passes on the message. Pituitary gland tells the rest of the body what to do. The pancreas, different parts, gonads like the testicles or the testes and the ovaries. I don't know if it does the adrenal glands, but that is part of this system. All right, so go ahead and take notes.